When most people think about inheritance, they picture money changing hands later in life, a check, an account transfer, a moment far, far ahead in the future. But for families thinking boldly about retirement, inheritance isn't just about what gets passed on. It's about who the next generation becomes because of it. Today, we're talking about the bold retirement inheritance and how retirees can guide Generational Z toward financial freedom by passing on clarity, confidence, and opportunity, not just assets. A bold retirement legacy isn't just about the wealth you leave behind. It's about the wisdom you pass forward. True success is measured by how prepared the next generation is to manage that gift. And when you prioritize preparation, you build confidence that lasts long before any money ever changes hands. Gen Z is entering adulthood in a very different financial world. Higher education costs can cause early struggles in young adulthood. Housing challenges can lead to long-term renting with no real asset ever being acquired. And nonlinear careers leading Gen Z to have to hop job to job just to earn experience, higher pay, and potentially more benefits. That's going to take away from longevity that older generations are typically accustomed to, and a constant stream of financial information without any context. Many younger generations are receiving their financial knowledge on, you guessed it, social media platforms from self-proclaimed financial experts who are selling them a lifestyle that cannot be replicated as easy as just buying a course. And at the same time, many Gen Zers will eventually receive wealth created by earlier generations without any guidance that can transfer the feel of overwhelmingness and directionless. Bold retirement planning recognizes that preparing Gen Z emotionally and intellectually just as much as preparing them financially. A bold retirement inheritance is intentional. And according to Investopedia, long-term financial confidence is built through understanding, participation, and consistent exposure to decision-making rather than just a one-time instruction. And in practice, this kind of inheritance includes education alongside assets, early exposure to financial concepts, and conversations about values and trade-offs. Also, gradual responsibility rather than sudden access. The goal isn't control, it's making sure there's capability, and being capable and responsible with money and their inheritance should be one of your top priorities if you're passing your wealth down. One powerful approach is early involvement. I know not a lot of people like that, but instead of shielding Gen Z from financial conversations, families need to invite them into age-appropriate discussions about saving, investing, and you guessed it, planning. Another approach is experiential learning, connecting money to real-world goals like travel, entrepreneurship, or education makes concepts tangible. And some families use structured accounts or trusts, assets that are introduced gradually with education and accountability pre-built in. Others might focus on mentorship rather than just money overall, teaching your family how to evaluate opportunities, manage risk, and think long-term so it builds a sense of resilience. And according to Forbes, families that emphasize financial education alongside wealth transfer see stronger long-term outcomes and fewer generational setbacks because bold inheritances can teach judgment, not just access to funds. And the best thing we can give Gen Z isn't money. It's the confidence to handle their own finances. When they understand how money works, they'll feel empowered by their choices, not just pressured by them. So imagine a world where grandparents who want their legacy to empower their grandkids, not just overwhelm them, whether that's helping them with a down payment on a house or setting up a high-yield savings account. Instead of waiting decades, they talk openly with Gen Z family members about their money. I know it's scary, but it could be the right thing to do. And imagine explaining why certain financial choices are made as you're building up the inheritance you're going to pass along. You could tie financial support to learning and growth and have better communications as a family as a whole. Now, Gen Z gains context long before assets ever transfer. So questions should be encouraged, not discouraged. And this will lead to mistakes becoming lessons instead of overall crises. So when wealth eventually moves, it feels familiar and not intimidating. That's a bold inheritance in action. And one misconception is that Gen Z isn't interested in financial responsibility. Often they're interested but unsure where to start. And it's important to get financial information from a trusted source, not from the social media finance bros. Another misconception is that financial education creates entitlement. However, secrecy is far more likely to create confusion and arguments after you're no longer around. And a third misconception is that inheritance planning should wait until later. But in reality, guidance works best when it evolves over time, because preparation is going to reduce pressure, and having conversations will build confidence. The biggest mistakes families make with inheritance, it's waiting too long to talk about that money. Honest conversations early on build understanding, and that understanding transforms an inheritance from a source of stress into an incredible opportunity. Don't leave it to chance. Start the conversation today. I deeply encourage you, because a bold legacy starts with intention. Make sure to ask questions like, what financial skills do we want Gen Z to have? How can money support independence, not dependence? What values should guide financial decisions? And how do we introduce responsibility, not after we pass away, but gradually over time? This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. And when retirees design inheritances as an ongoing relationship instead of a one-time event, Gen Z is going to gain the tools that last far, far beyond any transfer. So here's the takeaway. A bold retirement inheritance goes far beyond just dollars and cents, and it prepares Gen Z for a complex financial world with clarity and confidence. And when education, values, and assets move together, wealth becomes a platform for freedom rather than just overwhelming financial pressure and decisions. Now, the most powerful legacy isn't what Gen Z receives, it's who they come because of it. If this helped you rethink what a meaningful inheritance can look like, subscribe for more clear, real-world retirement education. And if you want help designing a bold retirement legacy that aligns with your family values, with long-term financial freedom, book a connection conversation in our office today or on Zoom. We're happy to meet you on either.